Ural State Medical University. It is the alma mater of medical education, which provides students with the valuable knowledge. The university is famous not only for its faculties and departments, but for its scientific library. This is the Scientific Medical Library named after Professor Klimov. It was founded in 1931 simultaneously with the beginning of classes at the medical faculty of the Sverdlovsk State Medical Institute. One can only try to guess what this almost century-old library keeps in its walls and on its bookshelves. Let's look at it from the inside. Even in the very lobby of the library, you are greeted by knowledge. At the very entrance there is a state award of the Institute, the Order of the Red Banner of Labor. The university received this award for the contribution to the development of healthcare, medical science and training of medical personnel. The university received this order when it was headed by Vasily Nikolaevich Klimov. It is worth noting that a book crossing area is also organized in the lobby. The visitors can take books and leave the ones they have already read in return. Here you can find the newspapers, the magazines and the scientific magazines published in the Ural State Medical University. Vasily Nikolaevich Klimov. This corner on the first floor of the library is dedicated to Professor Klimov, after whom the library was named in 2010. Klimov was a doctor of medical sciences, professor, and also took part in the Great Patriotic War. He was a rector of Ural State Medical University from 1964 to 1984. First-hand about Professor Klimov. These are former colleagues of Professor Klimov, Leonid Larionov and Nikolai Skoroumets. When I entered the institute, Vasily Nikolaevich Klimov was the secretary of the party committee of our Sverdlovsk State Medical Institute. I graduated from the institute, became a postgraduate student, and later we communicated a lot. I remember Vasily Nikolaevich as a public figure, a rector, and as the head of the Department of Hospital Surgery. About an assignment the name of Professor Nikolai Vasilyevich Klimov to the library. At one time, it was a few years ago, Mikhail Fedorovich Lemiesev, he was the head of the Department of Public Health, me met and he asked, "What do you think if we assign the name of Vasily Nikolaevich Klimov to our scientific library?" I supported this idea, and then Mikhail Fedorovich said that he was going to the academic council, where the decision was made, and thus the Scientific Medical Library received the name of Vasily Nikolaevich Klimov. Vasily Nikolaevich was indeed a very significant person in the history of the university and its library. In the 80s, the rector decided to build a new building of the Scientific Medical Library. Since 1987, the modern Scientific Medical Library of the Ural State Medical University has been located in this building, memory of the Great Patriotic War. During the Great Patriotic War, Vasily Nikolaevich Klimov served on the Leningrad front, where he was wounded. The library has stands dedicated to lecturers and graduates of the university, who did not return from the war. The rich heritage of the library. The Scientific Medical Library, named after Professor Klimov, has been accumulating its resources since 1931. For almost a century, books were received here, and were often supplemented by the works of the professors and students of the university themselves. The library has more than 500,000 educational, scientific, reference, informational printed and electronic publications. The main department of the library is the Department of Scientific Medical Literature. Books in this department are stored according to a universal decimal classification in which each manual is assigned its own call number, which determines its location among other books. Here students can get books from all scientific fields related to medicine, anatomy, urology, gynecology, dermatology, genetics, neurology and many others. One can only admire the size of the scientific fund. And this is an exhibition of scientific works in pediatrics, which is also located in the Department of Scientific Medical Literature. Humanitarian literature. Library named after Professor Klimov is not limited only to the scientific and medical literature. The Department of Humanitarian Literature stores a lot of fiction by both modern and classical writers. This department puts on display new arrivals of literature. Thus, students have an opportunity to take the book they came for, or choose from the stand, after consulting with librarians. Reading Room of Foreign Medical Literature. On the second floor there is a collection of books in foreign languages. The university is a center of intercultural communication, and many foreign students study here. This department stores literature in Bulgarian, Italian, Spanish, Latin, Polish, French, Chinese, Czech and even Japanese. Does the library have anything else to surprise you with? Let's ask about it. This is Elena Vasilievna Efremova. She is the director of the Scientific Medical Library named after Professor Klimov. She will show the book storage department. The rare books of the 19th and 20th centuries stored here are really valuable. The fund of rare books dates back to 1860. This book was published in 1850. It is the oldest book. It is in good condition. Of course, the paper is a little worn. It has the classic book cover of the 19th century. And here is another book. It was published in 1852. It is in worse condition, but most likely it was read more often. There were no photographs, there were engravings in the books. This is an atlas. The best books have leather covers. This manual was written in the 40s. These are lectures on forensic medicine. They are typewritten. That is, the typist typed the text of the lectures, the author then corrected them. He inserted notes. Then the cover was made. This book was written in 1959 by Kordev Arkady Ivanovich. He was on a business trip in the People's Republic of China, taught at the Chinese University. The book was written in Chinese and translated. Digitization of knowledge. Another important resource of the library is a planetary scanner located next to the book storage. This scanner allows you to read information from any kind of paper media of almost any size. With a planetary scanner, regular replenishment of the electronic catalogs of the library is carried out. In the future, it is planned to scan all rare books from the book storage department and provide access to them for everyone. Where do the books in the library come from? The funds of rare books were replenished by the collections of the Regional Medical Library and the Berlínsky Library. As the fund of those libraries grew, specialized literature was transferred to the Sverdlovsk Medical Institute. As a result, we have all these books. In the neighboring department, there is the Special Department of Scientific Funds. Literature and electronic publications are ordered there. Also, this department is engaged in working with contracts, sending them to the accounting department with subsequent payment of orders. The Department of Scientific Processing of Literature receives books that the library has accepted. These books are already in the balance. Our task is to enter them into the database so that it is clear that the books belong to the library. To do this, we open our Rebbe's catalog. It is necessary to enter the book into the catalog and specify the title, author, topic, and keywords so that students can find the book they need from anywhere. The library staff is really interested in sharing and in providing knowledge. It is very hard and responsible work, because the library named after Professor Klimov has valuable and rich history.